David's voice and said, "Is this thy voice, my son David?" And David said, "It is my voice, my lord, O king." And he said, "Wherefore doth my lord thus pursue after his servant? For what have I done, or what evil is in my hand? Now therefore I pray thee, let my lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord had stirred up thee against me, let him accept an offering if they be children of men. Cursed be they before the king, before the Lord, for they have driven me out of this day from abiding in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, Go, serve other gods. Now therefore let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. For the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea, as when one doth hunt a partridge in the mountains. Then Saul said, I have sinned, return my son David, for I will no more do thee harm, because my soul was previous in thine eyes this day. Behold, I have played the fool, and have erred exceedingly. And David answered and said, Behold the king's spear, and let one of the young men come and fetch it. So now he finally came to realization that what I'm doing is wrong, and you've stopped me before, and now you're stopping me again. You've spared me once, and now you've spared me twice. So come again, I invite you back into the kingdom, and I pray that you forgive me. I mean, he's still the king of Israel, so he still has so much power that, he kind of has to forgive him. It's because it's the king. Let's see. Then Saul said to David, Blessed be thou, my son of David. Thou shalt both do great things, and thou shalt prevail. So David went on his way, and Saul returned to his place. So now David's back in the kingdom. And chapter 27 just kind of talks about him being back. And then chapter 28, that evil spirit is still, the Spirit of the Lord is still not with Saul, and he's really afraid of what's going to happen. And he kind of knows that he's going to go into battle and die. He kind of knows in his heart, he doesn't know how he's going to die, but he knows that he will die, and that David will be king of Israel, but he doesn't know how or why. So there's this little story, you guys have probably heard it, about Saul and the witch of Endor. It's really a cool story. It's not very long. Yeah, it's kind of a little reference. Then said Saul unto his servant, Seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit. So basically, seek me a medium. Now, earlier in verse 28, it says that now that Samuel was dead, Saul had put away all that those had familiar spirits and wizards out of the land. So he knew, Saul knew now that Samuel was dead, there was only one prophet on the earth at one time. Now that Samuel was dead and that prophet was dead, that all the other spirits and mediums and things like that were just of the devil. So he wanted to make sure that there was none around them. So if you found out that, if you were a medium, or if you were a witch or any kind of thing like that, then you were cast out of the kingdom or killed. And Saul inquired of the Lord, but the Lord answered him not. That was verse 6. Neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. So now Saul really he reaches out to the Lord after all that he's done, but the Lord won't answer him. And he really wants to know what's going to happen. He wants to know what his will is. He wants to know what he's going to be and what he's going to do. So he calls up the spirit. And then said Saul unto his servants, Seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go unto her and inquire of her. And his servant said unto him, Behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself, and put on another raiment, and went, and 2 other men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me up whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, so, this woman is scared because all of her kind were basically cast down and killed. So she was in hiding, and one of the servants found her. And Saul, the one who did all of this, now found this girl and wanted her to bring up a spirit. And the woman saw and said unto him, Behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done. She didn't know that this was Saul that was before her. How he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, that it cause me to die? And Saul sware to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord liveth, there shall be no punishment to happen for these things to happen. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring thee up to them? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice, and the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. So now at this point she knew that he was the king, and that he had deceived her, and he knew that she had just brought up, a man of God, and she was scared. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw God descending out of the earth, And he said unto her, What form is he of? And he said, As an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel. And he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to him, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed. For the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. So, earlier in the chapter, Samuel leaves Saul basically because he doesn't want anything to do with him now, because he's not of the Lord, and that evil spirit is upon him, and he disobeyed God. And now he's calling up that very same person that he knows that has the right answer, because he knows that it's just between, it was God's prophet. He knew that. So he wanted to talk to him again. And so the Lord obviously allowed this to happen. He said, the Lord isn't with me. He's not talking to me by prophets nor by dreams. Now what shall I do? He wants to know what he needs to do. Then said Samuel, Wherefore then dost thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy? And the Lord hath done to him as he spake to me, for the Lord hath sent the kingdom out of thy hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David. So now Saul knows that it's